What's good, beautiful people? It's your girl Tay, and I'm here yet again with another update video. But today is going to be a little bit different. I thought that I would take the time, go through y'all's comments because you guys have been hitting me up. And just kind of go through some of these questions and try to answer as much as I possibly can. So definitely make sure you guys smash that like button, comment down below, subscribe, plus push your post notification bell button so that way anytime I upload a video, you will be notified. So a lot of the questions that you guys were asking were the same question over and over and over and over again. And one thing I do want to tell you guys that I have been saying to you since I started doing these IRS videos is I am not a CPA, I am not a tax preparer, I am not a financial advisor, I do not work for the Internal Revenue Service. So any of the answers that I am giving you is based off of the answers that I may have received myself as a concerned taxpayer who have called in and spoken to IRS representatives. Okay, so I will do my best to explain this to you in the simplest form so that you guys can understand and hopefully walk away having a little bit of relief as to where you may stand in your particular circumstance. Okay, so jumping right into it, how do you find the cycle codes? Oh, one other thing that I wanted to tell you guys is that I may have switched around the wording of the question to make it make sense for me. So just pay attention because you may actually have your question answered in this video, okay? But it may not be as the same verbatim as the way you may have typed it into the comment section, okay? How do you find your cycle codes? So you find your cycle codes on your account transcript. So if you were able to start an online account to look at your transcripts online, then once you go in there, you'll have 4 different transcripts available. The bottom left transcript is called your account transcript. If you go onto that transcript and look for the word cycle underneath it, it will be a 8-digit code that sometimes looks like a calendar. No, not sometimes, but usually looks like a calendar date backwards. So it will say 20200405, something to that effect. That is your cycle code, okay? Is the 17th a big release date? So no, I don't think the 17th is a big release date. I believe that all of the dates that the refunds are being distributed into people's accounts are what's considered mass updates. We just weren't aware of the other updates, most likely because we didn't get our updates and we didn't get our deposit on those dates. So we're aware of the 17th. If you're asking about the 17th, and I'm assuming that you have received notification, you've read it on your transcript, or you've seen it on Where's My Refund tool saying that you are going to get a deposit on the 17th. So that just means another mass update has happened and that most likely a lot of people are going to be receiving their refund checks on the 17th of March. Okay. This one person said payment was mailed on March 19th to address on file. Okay, so this is in regards to the Get My Payment tool, which, by the way, if you guys have not already checked, even though they said that the Get My Payment tool would not be ready until the 15th of March, it was actually updated and online yesterday, Saturday. So today is Sunday, the 14th. You may be able to get on there, or you should be able to get on there and check the Get My Payment tool and get some information regarding your stimulus payment. However, for this particular question, if you received a message like this that says payment mailed on March 19th will go to this address on file, and then the person asked me, will it go through postal mail? So yes, it will go through United States Postal Service. If they are mailing it to you, it's going to go through the United States Postal Service. Okay. The second one, this is a message that may have been on file as well for the Get My Payment tool. You are eligible for payment. Once we have your payment date, we will update this page. And then at the bottom of it, it will say we will either mail it to this address or we will deposit it into this account ending in blah, 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 blah. Okay. This person asked, should they be freaking out? No, just because you don't have a payment date available does not mean you should be freaking out. You should continue to check every day, most likely check tomorrow because that's when it was originally supposed to be online. Check again today if you haven't already. Check tomorrow to see if a payment date has been provided for you. But I do not think that you should be freaking out, especially if they're saying that you are eligible for a payment. So it pretty much means that you're all good, okay? Why is this happening when refunds are not completed from last year? Okay, I'm not exactly sure about that question. Why is this happening when refunds are not completed from last year? So I'm assuming that you're asking about why everything is going on as of right now. At the end of the day, they can't stop, even though in several situations they've shut down, they have stopped, but they have to keep moving forward. So regardless of the fact that many people have yet to receive their tax returns for tax year 2019, they are going to continue to process tax returns from now 2020, and furthermore now processing the stimulus payments, okay? This person says, filed paper return but have direct deposit. What's going on? So I believe with that question, if I remember correctly, I believe that this person wants to know how this is going to, maybe the fact that it's taking a while. Okay, so let me just say this. If you filed a paper return, they haven't even begun to process the paper returns. That's why there is a notification on the IRS website that says expect a longer waiting time if you mail in a paper return. They're going to go through the ones that have been electronically filed first, and then they're going to get to the paper return. So even though you may have put direct deposit information on your paper return, there's a good chance that they haven't even looked into those, because they generally don't start looking into paper returns because they have to input that information manually until further along in the year. So again, even though you have put direct deposit, you may very well get your return direct deposited into your account, but they haven't started to look at those returns as of yet, as far as I understand. I could be wrong, but as far as I understand, they haven't started to process the paper returns as of yet, okay? Website to check status of stimulus. Okay, so to check the status of your stimulus, you want to go to the Internal Revenue Service, whatever search engine you're using, Google Chrome, Google, Bing, Internet Explorer. You want to type in IRS Get My Payment, and then it should take you to another page. You click on that, and then it should take you directly to the page with a big blue button that says Get My Payment. You want to click on that, and it's going to prompt you to enter in some information. Filed with direct deposit, will I receive a stimulus in check form or a deposit? Okay, so unfortunately for that, I would say generally the good rule of thumb is if you have banking information on file, then you should receive your stimulus check as a direct deposit. However, there has been some instances, and I don't know what the situation was, what the details were of those cases, into why these people who may have put direct deposit information on file ended up getting a stimulus check in the mail. I know I was one of them last year. Based off of the 2019 tax return, I did have direct deposit information on file, but it was a prepaid card that was provided to me by my tax preparer, and because of that, I ended up receiving a check for the first stimulus payment. Okay, so I had to actually go back online and use that Get My Payment tool to update my information when they allowed us to do so, in order for me to receive a direct deposit the second time. But again, there's no clear-cut answer for this question. I'm going to say again that if you put your banking information on file, if you didn't take out no tax refund, no loans or tax advances or anything like that, it's just your banking information, then 9 times out of 10 you will receive direct deposit. But I would just say continue to check the Get My Payment portal so that you will know for sure, because it's going to tell you when and how they're going to disperse your stimulus check, okay? Do you have to file 2020 taxes to get your stimulus? So the answer is no. Now, I do know that they were planning on going off of your 2020 tax return if that is available. However, if your 2020 tax return is not complete by the IRS, or if you have not filed your 2020 tax return at all, then I believe they are going to go off of the 2019 tax return if you filed for 2019. And that is information that I was able to get from a representative in the Economic Impact Payment Department. That's what they told me. If they don't have 2020 on file, they're going to revert back to your 2019 to use that information, okay? And then finally, I have gotten a lot of questions about stimulus and dependents. So let me just give you the broad general explanation of what's going on with that. Hold on one second. Okay, so as far as I know, as far as what has been in the news, as far as what has been explained in certain articles and all of that, when it comes to dependents and stimulus, now, if you have claimed your children as a dependent in either your 2019 or your 2020 or both, you will receive a stimulus check for that child. Now, I do know that there have been some people that have filed, that have put their children on their tax return, but have not received their payments for their dependents. You would need to reach out to the IRS to see what is going on in your specific situation, okay? But generally, if you have put your children on your tax return and claim them as dependents, then you will receive a stimulus check for them. Now, I'm speaking of the third one because in the first two, the dependent rules were a little bit different. I believe that there was like an age cutoff for either the first or the second stimulus, or I think both of them. I can't really remember. But for this one, since all dependents count, children and adults, as long as you have claimed them on your tax return, you will receive a stimulus check. Now, if it is an adult dependent, whether it is a college student or whether it's your parent, someone that you are taking care of, and they're receiving SSI, if you claim them on your tax return, you will get the stimulus, not them, regardless of the fact that they are on SSI. They will not get a stimulus check because they have been claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax return, okay? Now, that's pretty much all the questions that I had that were relevant. Like I said, everyone asked the same question pretty much over and over and over again. Everything was pretty much similar. I do know that it's frustrating. A lot of us are receiving mixed messages and information that is relevant one day, and then you speak to a representative and is not relevant the next day. I do understand that 100%. I'm going to go through your okay, so one person decided to give some information. I'm just going to read it out loud. I'm not going to say this person's name, but it says, wanted to give an update on the stimulus as I am in the group of early filers. I checked to get my payment and don't have a deposit date, but it is going to my updated account info based off of my 2020 taxes. So there's hope. Okay, so pretty much like we've been saying, when it comes to the IRS right now, you guys, they are behind. They are understaffed. People are working from home. It is what it is. We know that there's a lot of people. I know you guys have been expressing that you have not received your tax return. Some of you from even 2019. There's not really a whole lot that we can do. We are at the mercy of our government right now, but just sit and wait for them to get it together. I don't know when that's going to be. I don't think nobody can tell you, not even the IRS can tell you when that's going to be. I will say continue to check the Get My Payment tool to see if your status updates, and as well check your transcripts online if you were able to set up an account. Now, for those of you who were not, I do know that you can request your transcripts via the telephone. You do not need to speak to a representative to request your transcripts on the telephone. You just need to enter in some information about the tax year that you're requesting transcripts for, and they will mail it out to you. However, if you are in the same situation as a lot of us has been, where they haven't processed or they're unable to give you any information when you call, then 9 times out of 10, your transcripts are not completed. And you guys will not be able to get any relevant information from your account transcript if your top 2 transcripts are not done. So if the top 2 transcripts still say NA, then that means that they have not completely processed your return, okay? So you have to wait until all 4 transcripts are available before you look at your account transcripts to get information. Generally, at the bottom of your account transcript, after all of those numbers that we probably don't know anything about, you will have a code that says 846, and then it will say refund issue, and then if you go all the way over to the right, it should give you a date. So for those of you who are able to go online and start your transcript account online, and if you were able to get in and see that all 4 of your transcripts are now available, if you go to the very bottom, I'm pretty sure majority of you will see a refund issue date, and then it will say March 17th for those who just received an update in this recent mass update as of Friday. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys in this video. Continue to drop your questions down below. I will try to answer them as much as I possibly can. One thing I did want to say is I have put an email in the description box below. That is not for you guys to email me to ask me about questions in pertains to these videos that I release. If you have a question, leave it in the description, or not in the description, leave it in the comment section below, and I will try to answer it as quickly as possible, okay? On that note, you guys, I'm going to say remember to live, love, and elevate, and I will definitely see you in the next video. Peace.